Hi everyone, this is Aya. Last night I recorded a video of 10 full minutes and YouTube cut it down to 1 minute and 40 seconds. I don't know what happened to the rest of the 8 minutes, but I was really, I was just kind of sad. I had talked a lot about a lot of things, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to re-record those and exactly get in the same kind of content that was in the first one, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. I have some of the things written down from yesterday anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and re-record it. So what I'm going to talk about today is things that you actually don't hear a lot about when you're transitioning, when you're getting used to polyphasic sleeping. And as you know, I am on the Uberman schedule, and so just keep that in mind. I'm doing Uberman, not everyman, and I'll probably specify for each one. So the first thing I want to talk about that people experience during their transitional phase, gosh, I couldn't get that one out, is the sensitivity to bright lights. I got this especially in the second week, where I have two lamps in my bedroom. I have one on this area and then one right behind me. There's another lamp, and I couldn't even bear or tolerate to have both of them on at once. Usually I do have them both on at once because my room's not the brightest place in the world. So but when it came to this point, I couldn't even have them both on at once. I had to have only one on at once. I had to make sure that I had sunglasses for when I was driving because I was just so sensitive to light. And this obviously, since everybody else seems to have it, seems to be completely normal. And it did wear off after a while. I mean, I'm still more sensitive than I remember being, but since it's been over a month and, almost a week and a half or so, then I can't exactly say that I I can't exactly say that I'm fully recovered because I think I used to be less sensitive, but I'm much better than when I first started, with that sensitivity. And the reason that this happens to people who are going polyphasic is because you're actually becoming part vampire. Okay. All right. Okay, I admit it. I didn't want to. But going, now that I'm thinking about it, and this is completely something I didn't even think to say, but also another thing that happened to me and my twin when we're both polyphasic, so we have really cold skin. I mean, our cheeks are usually pretty darn cold. They're warm right now because you know what? It's 107 degrees, and it's the middle of the damn night. Not that I'm complaining. I love the heat. But you know what? They're colder than normal. I don't know why. I'm also a little bit paler than normal, so I was joking with some friends and telling them that I was turning into a vampire. And, I'm not sure, probably because I spend so much time awake at night, I become sensitive to sunlight, but I'm not sure. The next thing I wanted to talk about is getting used to napping. What the thing I did was I started out as Uberman, and I accidentally got sick for a couple of days, and I started doing the everyman schedule. But this worked out because I'd been doing Uberman for 2 weeks, and when I hit the everyman schedule, I was already able to nap. And napping is so important. The first thing, a lot of people say, oh, well, I set my alarm for 25 minutes, and then if something interrupts me, then I just set it further. It's absolutely imperative that you do not do this during your first few days. You absolutely have to tell your body. What you're telling your body is you have 25 minutes. Get it over with, or you're not going to sleep. So even if you sit there for 25 minutes awake, thinking, oh my god, I only have 25 minutes to try and fall asleep, you're still doing the right thing. You have to do that. You have to tell your body, look, you only have 25 minutes, get it over with, or get it gone. Because you're not going to be able to sleep other than that. That's what you're telling yourself. Eventually, your body will learn how to, very rapidly, actually. I mean, it took maybe less than 3 days for my body to figure out that it needed to fall asleep right away. And I might have had a little bit of advantage because I was able to, program myself where if I tell myself, okay, you can sleep now, I pretty much can sleep anywhere at any time. But if I tell myself, don't go to bed, then I won't. I just won't go to bed. I have never gone involuntarily to sleep. I did have one. Oh, I'll get to the rest of it. But, so that is very important that you do not add time to your napping schedule when you are getting used to polyphasic sleeping. And in that same respect, going from the Uberman schedule or attempting to program myself for Uberman and then going to everyman was one of the best things that could have happened to me. It was completely unintentional. But once I got that everyman nap, oh, it felt so good. And I actually could not stop doing it I tried, but I couldn't for about 5 days. And then what I did was so it felt so good to be on the everyman. And if you ask an everyman, it usually takes 2 months for them to get used to it because they're not programming their bodies to immediately fall asleep after, right then at 25 minutes. They're not programming themselves to sleep hard like Uberman are. So they take months sometimes to get used to the everyman sleeping schedule. However, when you go from Uberman to everyman, it is like, it's like being in heaven almost. I mean, the contrast is so great. So what I did was took that everyman core nap, that 3 hours that I accidentally slept because I was originally sick. That's the whole reason I started it. And then, I kept accidentally sleeping for those 3 hours. And I took that and I changed it into 2 naps. And I gradually cut it down. So the first time I did like 1.5 hours and then a nap. And then, and I follow my body. If my body says, you must nap now, and it's strong enough, I will go to bed. But sometimes it will tell you must nap now, and it's just some kind of like tweak in the back of your head, and it's saying you gotta nap, and it's lying. Don't give into it. But what I did was I turned those into 2 different naps, and now I'm back, obviously, to everyman, and have been for the past week or so, or maybe it was 2 weeks. I'm not sure. Time really it doesn't exist anymore. Now, I'm at 7 minutes already on this video, so there's obviously going to be a part 2. The second thing is, when you're first starting, you're going to be, you're going to have blackouts. Like, when you go to bed, it just, instead of dreaming, you just black out. And that's what I did at first, is I would go to bed, and then I would completely black out during that time, and I would wake back up. I scarcely remembered that I even slept, because I didn't have any dreams. And obviously I felt like I'd slept because I felt really good after my naps, and then, but I was blacked out. So what happens after a while, and especially now that I've been on it for at least, I've been on it for about a month and a week, which obviously a month and a week is like 2 months, 2 months and 2 weeks in the Uberman sleeping schedule. But so now that I've been doing it that long, my dreams actually, I started dreaming more, because every now and then you dream, but it's not like this. And they are so long. Actually, the last one that I just woke up from, I swear it felt like I was asleep for 3 hours at least. And at first I was like, oh my god, did I miss my alarm? And then I'd find out that actually I woke up 2 minutes before my alarm went off. And it was really that dreaming. It felt like it had been 2 hours. And these dreams are so long and elaborate. It's amazing. It's truly amazing what the human body can do. And, but that's one thing you go through. You just, when you're first sleeping, you're blacking out the whole time. You're not going to have these dreams. But once you do, oh man, it's amazing. I'm going to cut this short and go on to part 2.